to end the week, we have a Patreon listener question from the Gray Skull. The Gray Skull asks, this year we have a whole bunch of Rodimus related third party stuff, whether it be convention exclusives or otherwise. But that being said, what do you feel is the best Rodimus toy ever if you had to pick one? I guess with this
I
question,
just want to just point out also first party Rodimus stuff.
yeah, well, see, that's why, like, I was like, oh man, like, because not to mention, like, as I mean, it goes without saying with me, Rodimus nutcase collector fan here,
Hmm. You
and
gonna go broke?
yeah, and I collect everything and anything. I mean, I've messed with it all. I have it all from a statue standpoint, from a transforming character standpoint, third party, first party, retail, official. Um, so there's a lot of different categories like it that we should probably. What I'll do is I'll break it down into categories, and then I'll say what I feel is my overall favorite. Otherwise,
Okay.
but like when I'll let you go first, Wendell, and then I'll kind of dive into it.
Okay, so I was just gonna just
Like what do
outright.
you feel is the best? And when he says Rodimus, like that's also a broad one because do you mean Hot Rod on his own? Do you mean Rodimus as in Hot Rod? Do you
Do
mean
you mean a
Rodimus Prime?
gimmick?
You know,
Yeah.
so maybe we'll do first actual official Hasbro Takara best Rodimus and or Hot Rod and or Rodimus Prime toy first.
Okay. So then I'm gonna say for official, I think like I'm having a battle between animated Rodimus and the new Headmaster one that just came out.
Oh, the new one from Titan's Return
Cause I part of me kind of feels they're a little bit similar in transformation
and engineering, yeah.
and engineering, but one came first and one was did it in a very interesting way, as most animated transformations are, and then the other one kind of does it where it's kind of similar to the classics line Rodimus, but then like doing its own little thing too.
Yeah,
Mm,
I
I
totally see. I see exactly what you're saying there, especially
yeah,
when you put them next to each other.
yeah, exactly. So, but I think I'm gonna go with for official. I feel like I'm gonna go with animated.
And keep in mind, people, Wendell's answer, Jaws D's answer, is because he's not a big Rodimus collector like I do, so he's really basing his answer on what he's handled and owned in a
Yeah.
limited capacity. So, like, if you have your own opinions, like, well, I'll get to mine afterwards, and it'll probably be a more backed answer. But
Hmm.
so now, what do you have for third party?
Third party, I am I am going a little bit old school, and I can't believe this toy is 7 years old. The Fans Project Protector, because again, I am a super stupid fan of robots in disguise, like
Parts, armor stuff.
parts armor stuff. Yeah, that's my thing that I like, that I always enjoy, and the fact that it took classics hot rod and put the parts on him, and he's standing as tall as like as a voyage as almost a Voyager is, and you can actually take him and take that trailer part and put it with your hot rod, and he's basically Rodimus. Like just the way it works with each other, and and then also I find is interesting. I'm saying 7 years, 8 years later, Hasbro's doing it. You know,
Oh yeah,
for Power of the Primes leader class Rodimus Prime, they're basically taking that old idea. Well, not old idea, but that aspect, and
there's a
then
lot of
doing it.
similarities to what's going on there. Yeah.
Yeah, and and France Project can't be like, "Hey, you stole our idea," and it's like, "Well, you stole our IP."
You stole our IP.
Like what do you want? Like you're welcome, if anything. So
Um,
yeah, that's the one I'm going with hands down, because I
and not to
remember when
mention
I
that was the toy that single-handedly made a deluxe classics hot rod toy $90 at one point.
yeah, exactly.
I remember you bought
A
that
Junker
toy,
Henkei, I think.
you bought
No,
you
not a
bought
Junker Henkei.
you bought the classics one. You were happy to get it for, I think it was like $20 loose,
Yeah,
because at the time the price was so ridiculous for it.
and it was a Junker one, so it like when I put it together in the armor or put it or display it as the vehicle mode, you're not going to see all of the scratches from the
Yeah, well,
paint or
that's what.
anything
And
like that.
imagine he was happy to get a junker, and he paid still a pretty good penny for it.
Yeah,
And because
deluxe
at
prices now.
yeah, well, at the now it's nothing, but at the time it was really stupid what that toy was going for at one point.
Yeah.
Almost ridiculous. But I mean, that just goes to show with the aftermarket with it. But yeah, that was a good one too. For me, when it comes to official, I want to break that into two separate categories too, because there's also like as it stands right now, I find that the best looking Rodimus anything from an official capacity is Metal Force did a statue of him, and I find that that Metal Force Rodimus, or well, it's called Hot Rodimus Metal Force. I
Right.
find that that statue is at the moment the most animation accurate piece of plastic or metal of Rodimus that exists. It looks exactly like he did in the '86 movie, colors, shape, proportions. If you don't count statues, because it doesn't move, it's not
I am
articulated.
surprised you are going with a statue. I mean,
Well,
like I know it's broken down into categories,
but yeah,
but the
I
fact that
always
you're
want to
giving
mention
props
that
to a
because
statue.
I just want to mention it because up to this point, nothing has equaled that statue in terms of perfection.
Mm,
That statue still to this day is the closest to Fliro Diri's 1986 Rodimus design. Like to literally to a T, to every little paint application, every little curve and angle. Where it's a shame because I still look at that damn MP28 Rodimus hot
uh-huh.
rod, the recent one, and it's like it just didn't get it. It missed some cues there. To me, again, as it stands right now, the best official one, I'm kind of torn between the first Henkei release. I
Mm.
really like that gold spoiler of Henkei
Ah,
Rodimus from the classics line. I really dig that a lot, and I'm torn between that and the MP9 if you leave it in the hot rod mode, the
okay.
Takara version specifically. I'm a really big fan of that. I like both of them. I mean, there's been a lot of official Rodimus toys, but just the two of those, they're kind of like a tie a little bit because I both really like them. I want to like the new Masterpiece Rodimus, but that chest is too square. It's
Right.
just too square. And I'm kind of hoping in the future, and that'll be also something when I'm going to mention the third party stuff. I'm kind of hoping in the future there's going to be something that's going to give me that perfect Rodimus. And that goes into the third party one. When we're talking third party Rodimuses, the best one I could think of at the moment that we could buy is DX9 Carry.
Mm,
DX9 Carry is, and it's more an aesthetic choice for me. To me, Rodimus Prime aesthetically, when I think of him, I picture Obari's Rodimus, which was predominantly used in the manga of Transformers 2010 of Season 3 and in the story pages of Japanese storybooks in Japan during 1986, 1987, which was that, he's the leader, so he's this big, buff, awesome spoiler looking character, and he just looks great. And that DX9 Carry Rodimus toy just copies Obari's design to a T, and it looks perfect. And I find it goes great on your Masterpiece shelf. It works perfect with your Masterpiece MP10 Convoy or Optimus Prime, and it just fits in perfectly with like your Shockwave and all those larger Decepticons too. It
do you have
works
him
great.
like shaking hands with like Optimus and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we're
That's that
gonna be doing
famous. Yeah, and
this.
again, what Wendell's referring to, the shaking hand pose, that was Obari's, design of that Rodimus, and the convoy. Even that was an Obari convoy, which has a very unique way that the smokestacks are done. Like Obari, the way he does Transformers is a lot more detail. Obari's known for Dan Cougar and a lot of other famous mecha shows and stuff like that too. He currently works for Plex, but he's one of those guys that man, oh man, like his Rodimus is his Rodimus Prime is the Rodimus Prime I like. Like when it comes to hot rod, I like Fleur Diri's hot rod, but I like Obari's Rodimus. And so, but there's another third party toy I want to bring up, which is coming soon, and I hope it's going to be the best hot rod toy ever made. And
Can
that's
I guess which one it is?
yeah, go ahead.
Is it the Fans Toys one?
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Ah,
Fan Toys is working on a character called Hoodlum, and
yep.
it looks like Fan Toys took everything that Hasbro and Takara did with the masterpiece MP09 and with the masterpiece MP28 and fixed all the mistakes. And I'm hoping that this knocks it out of the park. I really do, because it looks great, but again, so far all we have is CGs. And on paper and on CGs, this looks perfect. If I
Try
mean
check. Maybe look a little bit now. They might have it standing next to a few other characters, eh?
I don't know. We'll do this live right now.
All right. Fans
Fan
Toys.
toys, Hoodlum. Let's see if anything has surfaced since then. I
Because
think it's
I was doing a quick search and I found some images, but
oh
I
yeah,
don't know if
there's some resins and stuff too. That is
yeah.
true. And I mean it looks great. It looks really, 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 really good. Um, I mean, I'm just hoping that this the final product just knocks it out of the park. I really do. But I mean, it's to me, it has that proper chest. It has to be rounded. The chest, it really does. And what's interesting is that Fans Toys shows that you could still have the rounded lower half of the chest, but still have the normal car, alt mode where it does, because the MP9 hot rod still had the rounded car mode. Like
Mm,
they couldn't do that. But Fan Toys with their Fan Toys 17 Hoodlum, they figured something out. They really have. They did a really good job, and I mean, he looks great. He really does. If they The last thing they need to do, and again, it's hard to tell with these grayscales, but they just need to get that perfect boyish face. They need that. Don't make it look old. Don't make it look stern. Make it have that innocent looking hot rod face as if he's hanging out with Daniel fishing, you know?
mm.
And if you get that, you got the best hot rod toy ever made, in my opinion. And that'll be my go-to. Because right now, the best Rodimus toy overall, official and or otherwise, right now is that Obari, DX9 carry. Fans Toys Hoodlum, if and when, that probably will be. It's sad that the best Hot Rod and or Rodimus toys are third-party ones, but when you have that unlimited budget and you have that unlimited price, pieces, and people will be willing to pay a little more to get a little more, that's what you get, man. And I was very, disappointed with MP28. It still was a great toy, but I have high expectations for Masterpiece, and all those past Autobot cars that came from the Datsuns to the Lamborghinis and even with Wheeljack, those were all amazing. Those were like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 toys, and I was really hoping for that same up at bat, home run, but that wasn't the case. It was almost there. It was a third base run, but it wasn't a home run.
Right, right.
And again, a third base run is still pretty darn good. But for me, for my favorite character, I was being a little more critical, and I was really hoping for that. And it looks like, Fan Toys, FT17 Hoodlum is going to give me that criticalness that that I've been trying to achieve up to this point. But yeah, thanks for the question, Grayskull.
Really good question.
Yeah, it's something that again I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I have like every Rodimus toy, every Rodimus everything, and it's just there's so many that do different things. And I mean, if you would have asked me this question in like 2001, the answer would have been a statue. It would have been there was this old company back in the day that made resin kits of Transformers. They did one of RC, Alita 1, and Hot Rod,
Mm.
and and that was the best like looking one. If you would have fast
I
forward,
thought it would have been the one that was like upright and straight. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
which one you're referring to?
I don't know if it was a shampoo bottle
Oh
or.
my, yeah, you're well. That
Remember you talked about
I
that a
have,
while
yeah,
ago.
see, I have, there's a shampoo bottle from 1986 from Japan. I have, and still has the shampoo in it. Um, that shampoo, I really should get that, take that. I don't know if the shampoo corroded. It hasn't yet, so I guess everything's okay. There's a shampoo bottle of Rodimus that's an action figure. It's not too bad, but I wouldn't call that the best Rodimus toy. But it's pretty cool. I mean, there's the Super Hybrid Rodimus. That's a really awesome figure too. It's done in that Obari style, and
Mm,
it was done in 1987. But the problem with that was it never got past the test shot stage. So
mm,
like I have one that I paid way too much money for, and like two other people in the world that I know of own it.
yeah.
So I can't really tell people, oh, go out and get that one, you know. So yeah, go out and
You don't
spend
want to.
3 grand,
You,
you
you don't
know.
want them to
But
come and kill you.
for a non-transforming PVC figure of a of a test shot prototype.
Right.
Um, but I mean, throughout the years, like it constantly changed. You know, like when that classics one, when that classics mold came out, that really started making me go like, oh, that's a really good. And I find of that classics mold, the Henkei one specifically with the gold spoiler is the sexiest of the bunch, and it looks really good in alt mode. Like I
Mm,
love just overall how it looks. Um, and I mean, it's been repainted a million times since then, but that was one that I really liked of the official ones. And again, it works great with the Fans Project armor too. You when you bought the Fans Project armor, you actually could have bought an upgrade set which gave you chrome spoilers for the Fans
oh
Project.
yeah. I think mine came with it.
Yeah, it was a free bonus for the longest time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So I mean, it looks really good with with that armor too that Wendell brought up. So
I
it's
think right now, if you buy the KO version, it comes with a red scythe now.
oh, it comes with the scythe from the Shadow Scyther.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, which was again if you for the shattered glass version.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, again, it's it everyone has their own opinions that are different from their own mileage. Me as the Rodimus super fan, um, my opinions are more about just like what I feel encompasses that character and perfection. And as it stands right now, Hoodlum, DX9, and DX9 carry, those are my go tos. But yeah, thanks for the question, Grayskull. Really good one.